Okay, we're live. Welcome in, everyone. American Leeds, the American Leeds Twitter, and the American in Leeds YouTube channel. YouTube is that way, Twitter's this way. So, hope you're all doing well. We dropped points today. We dropped points against the Hull City squad that I think is, they're third from bottom, and it's inexcusable. To drop points the way we have in the past two games. That's 4 points over the last two games. I think that have been dropped. You had the red card apology from the EFL. We might not have won that game, but I think we would have at least drawn it. There's 5 points, and then Meslier's absolute bottle job at Sutherland. There's 2 points there, so we should be out of sight. Unfortunately, we're not. We're 1 point ahead. And still top of the table, still a new year. But as they say, draw January continues for the Whites, and it's disappointing. So I'm going to go ahead and this is like going into my local, so to speak. This is a root beer. And this is why I do content. I do it before, for the community, for everybody else. I don't do it I'm not monetizing anybody or anything like that. We've got a rundown here. I can't talk about Leeds United. Of course, in the States, there's not a lot of people that are EFL fans, so I do it online. So let's listen. We'll listen to Farke. For those listening on Twitter, you probably will. I'll just describe what he's saying, what my thoughts are, and then we'll read some Adam Pope comments, and then LUTV did a post-match chat with the gaffer. But I'm interested to see what he has to say, because it's really there's no excuse. And he says in the comments from Adam Pope that, he's not going to throw his players on the bus. Of course he's not. I'm not looking for that. You don't have to throw your players on the bus. All you have to say is that it's inexcusable, that we lost a match. It was inexcusable. He has to do better. That's not throwing your player under the bus. That's just stating fact. So, anyways, let's listen to Farke. I'll get my thoughts on what I think the January window looks like. If I'm the 49ers, what players could you possibly need? That's how I would come from it. And I'll tell you why the 49ers would think that. We'll go over the match stats, the next game, answers to the quiz, and I've got some fun stuff to do. I've got some British candy, or some candy from the UK. I'm going to rank it. Of course, we got the traditional Maltese flake and Arrow. This was, I don't know, skeptical of this one. So we'll take it from there. And let's get into Farke's comments. Farke talking to BBC West Yorkshire after the match to the Leeds United press media. Of course, he's saying he would be a poor leader for basically saying anything bad about his players after we've dropped points here, and that he's not going to do that. I don't think you have to say anything negative about your players. Just state facts. Just state the facts. Struggling for words.
After a busy festive period, we are top of the league with point difference, but we could be even there with an even better point tally. And this is also like we are one of the youngest sides in this league, and we don't.
Okay, goes back into basically saying we're still top of the league. We are we are one of the younger sides. This is one of the poorest excuses you could make. You're the richest side, right? You're the richest side in the league. You have the 18th most expensive club in Europe. You by far and away have the resources to win games like this. Protecting his players, I get it, but
play without individual mistakes. Pretty experienced side today after being 3-1 up. They just would have kept the ball and never gave the ball away and then perhaps score easily the fourth goal. Yeah, we allowed ourselves to be not switched on, to give an unnecessary wide arrow free kick away and to concede 2 goals.
Yeah, he's saying that the players weren't switched on today. Look, it's still news to, I think, some players that it's a cup final away. Every game is a cup final. And Vober, for the first goal, it was not, he was not switched on. Meslier out of position, in 2 minds. You're kind of excusing that first goal away, Meslier, but obviously he dropped his confidence right then and there because of the rest of the match was a complete debacle by him, at least the second half. And, really, I thought Hull's came to play. This is a cup final. Hull has the league leaders coming into their place. This is it for them. They will not experience another game like this. Their fans are waiting for it. It's a sellout. They're ready to go. This is the biggest giant versus minnow in the league. I'm not sure how big Hull is in terms of its club in England. I'm just saying this is their match of the season. They've circled this one, and Leeds and Vober's not at the races. You can't just get off the bus and expect to win. And I'm not saying that's true up and down the lineup, but I'm sure there's some players that are like that. And you saw Leeds, quite honestly, falter at the end of last season when everybody got the accolades and the awards, EFL Player of the Season and Goalkeeper of the Season and all this stuff. The next game they come out and they lay an egg. This league entitles you to nothing. Zero. Zilch. You have to focus and be in every moment. And if you think this league is difficult, wait until you get to the Premier League. So anyways, it's great that Farke is protecting his players. He's saying that they're young and that big picture we're still in first place. But I'm at least here to vent to everyone that they have to do better.
It's more or less like out of situations where it's not even a chance. Yeah, the wide arrow free kick, how the ball went in, that was the third goal. We cleared more or less cleared the corner kick, and then out of second phase, a strike out of 25 yards, it goes also in the middle of the goals. It's tough to explain how we conceded these goals, or at least tough to accept. But this is also what we are, and also what I'm speaking.
It's tough to accept and tough to understand how we conceded these goals. So he's just searching. He is a fan like us at this point. He doesn't know how we drew this game.
About the whole season, so we are not the finished end product just because we are Leeds United. We're cruising easily through this league. We have a really young side, and we allow ourselves sometimes to be there with individual mistakes, or perhaps as a team to be not sharp enough in general, like in the first half. And the reaction is always good, and also like we speak about this, and the players improve this. But obviously, we're not the finished end product, and as long. As we're also missing important players, of course, with experienced lads like Pascal Struik, like Junior Firpo, Patrick Bamford, Ilya Groove. Perhaps we would have managed the game even more calm once we were 3-1.
Managed the game better. Okay. All right. Let's talk about the January window a little bit. I do think that the 49ers might move away from a couple players like a Bamford or a Joffe. Maybe even a Vober. I don't know. Maybe they'll move away from some of these players. But if I'm the ownership and the coach is coming to me and saying that he needs more players, that he needs additional players, and you have the most expensive squad in the division, and you're coming on and your fullbacks down and you're bringing on an Austrian international, you're bringing on Welsh internationals, you're bringing on, I mean, you have an embarrassment of riches. What more could you possibly want to win this league? I've given you everything. Gruev went down. I mean, you don't have Gruev. Is he the reason why you're not running away with the league? You're in first place. I don't think the 49ers are really eager to do business this window. They've given you enough to win the league. Do a number 9, do a number 9, do a 10, do a 10. Do you know how hard nines are hard to find? 10s are almost impossible. 10s are impossible to find. I think they still, look, I say all this. I think they actually get some business done in January. Maybe a body, maybe 2, maybe a 10, maybe a 9. I've said I think Leeds go up this season with the back line. That's what was a little bit concerning today. Now, we'll talk about the elephant in the room, Meslier. He is so far away from the keeper that went up with us that I, for the first time, am, and I didn't say this, even when we were getting pelted in the Premier League under Marsh and Scoobs and Grazia and Sam Allardyce. I say it, I laugh at that because I still can't believe that happened. But anyways, I couldn't really blame Meslier at that point. But now I am fully at the point where I do think Meslier has to sit. Because we have to continue to have clean sheets. We have to continue to have the best backline and defense in the championship. And it's the old adage, you build from the back. Smash the like if you're joining me on wherever you're joining me, Twitter or YouTube. But you have to build from the back, and that means a keeper. And I know people like his feet. He's very integral. I've said he's integral in build-up. But he's a bionic man. He's terrible at crosses. There's becoming less and less redeemable qualities. He used to have a big shot stop in him. I mean, he'll show up to the game at Borough. He'll show up to Borough, he'll show up to Leicester coming in. He'll show up to like big games under the lights. Meslier will probably put in a shift. But it's like the early game, he's still sleeping. His hair looks all ajar. I don't know how to say it, but he looks like he just woke up and rolled out of bed and he's playing keeper for Leeds United. It's time to grow up. So he's just so far away from the keeper that we had under the first season in Bielsa. He was exceptional one-on-one shot stopping ability. I mean, some of it, if you reflect on Meslier's like highlight reel, it's unreal. Some of the pure shot stopping ability that he's had is unbelievable. He has a great left foot and a terrible right foot. His distribution is suspect. His decision making, the punching the ball, it's really getting hard to find and then the best ability he had was like pure shot stopping ability, and that's starting to falter. So it is time for Darlow, and that's the business that we need to do in January is a keeper. And I've never said that. I never said it even when he was getting pelted in the Premier League and just couldn't. They called him a hologram. I was like, no, it's not his fault. His confidence dropped. He's still good. He's still got that keeper. Now it's like we're asking you to stop the ball less than 5 times a game. We're asking you to stop at probably 1 to 2 to max 3 times. I mean, today was rare that we had that many shots on target. You have to be awake and alert for those times. And then your distribution has to be good. And you've got to do better on crosses. I mean, you could put in any player, almost any goalie in this side, and they just wouldn't. They could hide, and that's what's happening to Melier. I'll go to some of your comments on YouTube. Smash the like if you're tuning in on Twitter or on YouTube. Bad defense, horrendous performance from the goalkeeper yet again, says Ian. He makes me nervous every time the ball goes near him. Yeah, I'm there. That's where it is. That's where he's at. And that's not how it's supposed to be. He can't be that nervous about the keeper. Patty says Darlow will get his chance to show his stuff. I hope so. I hope so. I mean, I know Farke doesn't like him with his feet as much, but it's time. You've lost your spot. I mean, I know when at least Bielsa, when our penalty taker missed a penalty, he'd switch to Click. Like if it was on Bamford, he'd switch to Click. When it was Click, he'd switch to Bamford. You know what I mean? You missed a penalty, I'm going to the next person. If there's this many kind of just nightmares, that's the only way to say it. If you had a couple of nightmares, you had one nightmare, maybe you should leave. Maybe you should go to the next goalkeeper. I don't know. I understand it's a confidence thing, but also it's just time. Michael Pollard says, I'm fuming, Alex. This is the same Meslier defender. Another channel, because I like him. Reckon Farke plays Meslier against Harrogate to build his confidence. It's mental. No, I don't think. Michael, I don't think he plays him against in the cup. You probably roll the ball to Darlow and say it's yours to lose. Here's a easy game to come into a cup game. If Meslier didn't have hand them the second goal, we would have held on. Hull wouldn't have grabbed the initiative to score another 2 goals. Meslier directly caught us today. He's cost us 4 points. And it's wafer thin. To get promoted, it's wafer thin. Those 4 points we're going to be wanting at the end of the season. I mean, Farke can F on getting a new keeper this preseason. He cost us 10 plus points this season, says Paul Atkinson. So you might know more than I. Well, cheers. I've given you my thoughts on the January window. I want to read a little bit more of Farke's comments. Farke, very disappointed. This is from Adam Pope at Popey, at A Popey on Twitter. Farke very disappointed with letting the victory slip away, but not willing to publicly criticize Meslier after his mistake at Hull. Stroik, ankle, he expects available for the FA Cup tie versus Harrogate Town. No time frame on Bamford's hamstring. I think he's preparing himself for an exit. Maybe I'm wrong. Farke, annoyed with how his team did not perform well enough in both boxes, referred again to how even a 2% drop in performance shows how Leeds can't cruise through games. Yeah, absolutely. It's cup final. It's cup final away. It is a cup final away. And that's how teams treat it. They don't care what the score line is. They're going to go at you. They're going to come back. They've come to play. This isn't, I don't know. You're not Barcelona versus like the lower level La Liga team. It's like, welcome to the championship. Daniel Farke says, this is via Adam Popey, or Adam Pope. Daniel Farke says he hasn't had time yet to think too much about the transfer market during this period, so nothing to report yet. Well, I mean, you have your January strategy going now. You should have a strategy. My guess is they've been saying maybe one to him, and he's been saying okay. I mean, if there was like 3 or 4, I think he would come out and say, we're looking at doing some business. And he doesn't even say that. He kind of goes, hasn't had time to think about it, which I get. You're in the congested period, but if you're really serious about getting bodies in January, you would have had a meeting to get bodies in January. So hasn't had time to think. I mean, the window's open. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Okay. All righty. Let's go over some match stats. Smash the like, Alex, American, and Leeds. Hull City 3, Leeds United 3. Final score. Of course, Al Tanaka. Now, I do here, let's give Daniel Farke credit. The second, whatever he said in that locker room in the second half did light a fire under a lot of the boys, except for Melier, who maybe got chewed out for letting in a soft goal. I don't know. And I actually don't even blame that first goal for him. I blame that more for Vober, but something happened in the locker room because it did seem in the first half that we were trying to walk the ball into the net. Guys were not taking. Finally, Al Tanaka, minute 46, takes a shot on goal outside the box, and it goes in. You know, and I heard the post-match against BBC Radio Yorkshire. I don't know who those guys that do that, but Alan Clark's, I guess a lot of his goals were somebody firing it in from distance and him just in and around the box saying, thank you very much, we'll have that. You know, Al Tanaka takes it and it goes in. We need to put more shots on target. We've been saying that, I feel like, for 2 years. Stop trying to walk the ball into the net. Finally, and that's what it felt like. There were some meager attempts like pass the ball, pass the ball, pass the ball. Joe Perot shocked that it comes to his feet, gone, ball's cleared. Pass the ball, pass the ball, pass the ball. Friggin' Aronson, ball at his feet, meager attempt right to the goalie. There was just a lot of that in the first half. So anyways, I guess I'm giving Farke credit for waking the boys up. Of course, João Pedro's goal in the 81st minute, Kamara 89th, and Melier just not at it. 60% possession by the Whites, Hull City 40%. Shots 15 by Hull City, 17 by Leeds United. Hull City with 6 shots on target, 9 shots on target by Leeds United. Corners, Leeds had 7, Hull had 5. And, 451 passes by the Whites, only 304 by Hull City. None of this other stuff kind of really matters to me. Leeds United sit atop of the championship table, clear by 1 point, maybe 2 if you consider the goal difference. 53 points by the Mighty Whites, 52 by Burnley. We have a goal difference of 29. Is that correct? Holy crow. Goals for 48, only conceded 19. Burnley, 31 goals they've scored. They have only conceded 9 goals. 9 goals by Burnley. 36 goals by Sheffield United. They sit on 52 points, tied with Burnley, but only 2 points back of their goal difference. And they have conceded 17. So that's really the race. Sutherland, obviously, a part of that as well. 47, and there is separation. So you have 53 points, 52 points, 47 Sutherland, 41 Borough. So they are Sutherland's 5 back of second, and then Borough is 6 points back of fourth. So that's really, you are starting to see some decent separation there. I feel like the top four last year was tight all year round. So so at least you are starting to see some separation between the top three. Maybe you could put in Sunderland there at top four. Hey, we're top of the table. Let's take a look at the next games, and we'll get onto the quiz. And let's see if I can present this. Smash the like, and I'll get to your comments too. I see a couple of them have come in. We might even listen to Daniel Farke's. They put in softball comments at LUTV, but we might finish that up here. Let's see here. Where am I at? I want to look at the upcoming matches. Of course, they have a long think about this one. That's why I kind of like it. Harrogate Town, January 11th. January 11th. So that's a full week till their next match at the FA Cup third round, hosting Harrogate Town. And then Sheffield Wednesday. So their next league game isn't until the 19th. So they have, a good 15 days. Leeds have a next good 15 days until their next league match against Sheffield Wednesday, Yorkshire Derby. There you go. Get in. Hosting Sheffield Wednesday at home, in which unless there's another game going I'm not familiar with, but I believe Sheffield and Burnley have already played. So they will be top of the table playing Sheffield United. Early morning match. Wake the F up, Elon Melier. Wake up for that one. 7 o'clock, currently scheduled for January 19th or the 19th of January. And then Norwich, and then you're back into kind of, the flow of the EFL. Norwich and Burnley at Burnley. That'll be a big match. They got all 3 points against us. Again, Burnley, this is the kind of stuff that gets you promoted. Burnley beat Blackburn 1-0. Away. They took care of points. They've only conceded, I think, 9 goals. So that's the kind of stuff that gets you promoted. Shout out to everybody that had the quiz correct. I'm doing some quiz stuff on my channel. I think this is fun. The last question was, and I do have some unopened swag to give away. I won't give it away this stream, but the next stream. So let's see. It was on Jermaine Beckford. How many seasons did Jermaine Beckford was the leading scorer for Leeds United? Now, appropriate because it was Jermaine Beckford Day recently. Of course, he had the one goal against the Scummers again, and I was not there. I know a lot of people claim that they were there, but anyways, Jermaine Beckford Day was celebrated a couple of days ago in that cup game. But he was the leading scorer in 3 seasons for Leeds United: 2007, 2008, 2008, 2009, and 2009, 2010. So, cheers to you, Jermaine Beckford. Was not on LUTV today, but cheers, good man. Okay, let's do this next one. And I'm going to have the winners in the next 2 because people have been responding to me. I just haven't. I'll shout you guys out. But this is the next one just for fun. Randomly on my favorite player, Pablo Hernandez. And this is via the Leeds United quiz book by James Conrad. So go out and get yourself. I believe this is on Amazon. It's not focusing. There it is. On the YouTube. Let's see here. No cheating. Without looking it up, without looking it up, this could be a trick question. What number was Pablo Hernandez given when joining Leeds United? What number was Pablo? I know what his number was, but what number was Pablo Hernandez given when joining Leeds United? First person to get that right will get a shout out, and then eventually I'll give away some quizzes and stuff like that. But let's move on to some happier stuff and just some geek out on some Leeds United stuff. He was El Magico. Let's get into some UK candy. Now, we have a malt type candy in the United States. It's not very popular, but these are very famous. Maltesers. On looking at it, what is the malt candy in the United States? Whoppers. We have Whoppers, and my father always used to get malted milkshakes at local kind of ice cream shops and stuff like this. This is a Malteser. If you like Malteser, smash the like. Okay, this is better. This is better than a Whopper. If you've had Whoppers from the United States or you've had Maltesers, I'm ranking above Whoppers. Whoppers have more of a, I don't know, grainy taste to them. This is milk chocolate. This kind of tastes almost like if you just had the cookie part of the Twix. Solid. Maltesers, solid candy. Next up, Aero, A-E-R-O. It's a peppermint type of candy. I'll rank these first to last. First, okay, a mint type of candy. And I'm questioning this, like, what is this, like, these air pockets? That's strange to me. Little toothpastey for me in there. Kind of tastes like an Andes candy in the United States. If you've had that, it's like the mints that you would throw on a pillow in like posh hotels in the 80s. The bubbles or air pockets are how does that happen, right? Those are a little weird. It says feel the bubbles melt. That's got to be some sort of synthetic thing. I don't know how I feel about that one. So far between the two, Maltesers are in the lead and actually above our Whoppers that we have. This is the flake. My wife went to I think a fish shop in DC. Okay, it's a chocolatey thing. Oh, I've never seen this before. Yeah, and it is flaky. It's kind of like getting all over the place. I don't know why, but there's something about when chocolate breaks, it needs to be kind of clean. The fact that it's flaky is disturbing me. No. Too dry. Yeah. I need like a glass of water after that. All right, let's get to your comments. Wow. Okay, so Maltesers, Aero, and Flake in that order. And I think Maltesers here, the other two down here. That's where I rank them. All right. Just thought we'd have a little bit of fun in today. Michael Pollard says Solomon was cooking. I agree with that. It's a shame we haven't had a center forward on his wavelength to build a good partnership with Perot. Yes, I know he's scored, but he's not doing it from right. Interesting, Michael, about Solomon, he is cooking. I have one of my best friends is a Spurs fan. He actually wants Solomon back at Spurs. Talks about how Sonny's getting old and breaking down. Brendan Johnson's too young. Kulusevski or whatever only cuts in. So he's like, actually would love to have Solomon back at the club. Of course, different levels, but I have no interest in having him back here. The player that could come back, weirdly enough, is Jack Harrison. I don't know if that would be a good fit right now. Paul Hankinson says we need a 1 goalie, 3, 9, and a 10. Farke is saying we will have a quiet window. Is he having a laugh? Well, I told you, Paul, I think the 49ers and the ownership and the board said, checkbook's closed. Good luck. I would be frustrated if I was the owners and him coming to me and saying that he needs something. We can get you a new goalie. We signed a new goalie for you to compete with Melier, and Melier kind of came in. The goalie got done late. Melier had the position. He's good with his feet. He was never really tested last year, so he kept his position. So we got you a goalie last season. He was supposed to compete with Melier. What happened there? You know what I mean? Like, it's like a kid coming to you and saying that he needs, something else, like he wants ketchup on his sandwich. Now he wants mustard. Now he wants, like, you've got everything. You got it. You eat. You have to eat the food now. And see where I'm at with my with my parenting. For the first goal, 3 defenders were out of position. Defenders are not doing. Yeah, we had a poor defensive job, but it was not helped by the goalie. You build a team, to me, to win a championship from the goalie out. You have to have a goalie. You got to have him. It's too many points. He's done. I've never said that about Melier. Never was there. Always giving him the benefit of the doubt. Saw what he did under Bielsa. Saw the shot. I mean, he stoned Bukayo Saka 1-on-1 when Saka was like 19 or 20. It was incredible. Some of the saves he's got. His highlight reel matches some goalies in the entire world. It's unbelievable, some of the things that he's done. But he's not doing it. You got to do the basics. Lee Radley says, very disappointed, Alex. Happy New Year, lad. Do not get too low. We're still a top side. I'm not, Lee. We have everything to play for in front of us. We gave him a lot of Xmas. We gave him a late Christmas present, says Lee. Hull fans, cod heads, as I call I love an insult. I love a low-key insult. Codhead. The best insult I've ever been given was on a train in New York City, and there was a bunch of baseball, New York Yankee fans. And we were from upstate New York, which is, it's like a forest compared to New York City. But anyways, he said, where are you from? It was this old grizzly guy, and he goes, where are you from? And we said, we're from Syracuse. We were kind of from Syracuse, but not really. And he goes, I knew you were a bunch of apple knockers, because that's where he probably grew up eating apples and seeing that they were from Syracuse, New York. Apple knocker. That's the best one. Codheads. Anyways, everyone wants to beat us, says Lee. I agree. I mean, we're the cup final. It's just, you can't, that was a good quote I will give by Farke. I will give him his flowers. He said, if you drop 2%, you will lose. Even a drop in 2%. And I think we dropped 10 to 15% there. Michael says, spot on, Alex. He's been given players, but doesn't use them. Yeah. We got you players. We got you fullback. We got you goalie. We're giving you what you want. Oh, it's not good enough. Well, I mean, you're not Pep Guardiola, Daniel. This isn't the freaking Premier League. I can't spend everything. I'm giving you the checkbook was open. It's been open. I'm giving you it. I've done it. Now I'm risking financial stability if we stay in this league. Go back to training. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm very, I don't blame this loss all on the gaffer. I do blame last week's draw, the draw 4 days ago on him because he had no interest in winning it. He didn't put on a fullback. He went with a very defensive outlay and, but this is how it's going to go. I mean, crosses from just over the halfway line, long throws, time wasting. I mean, they didn't time waste today. It was just, this is a tough league to get out of. You've got to figure out how to consistently beat low blocks, and you can't make mistakes. You can't just get off the bus and expect that Hull isn't going to be ready to play. There's many ways to play football. I mean, this is stuff he knows. I would be preaching to the converted, but boy, I mean, you've got enough. You've got the richest club in the league. You've got the 18th richest club in Europe, according to payroll. You had much more than Bielsa had. I'm shocked I'm still shocked Bielsa went up with some of these players. How did he go up with Meslier? The man turned water into wine. Here's another take, says Paul. Meslier is not to blame for any of the 3 goals conceded. He should have been dropped after Sutherland, but he's still our number 1. Farke is to blame. Yeah, I mean, you're next. Hey, you're top of the league. All is not lost. Let's not, leave today with gloom and doom. But I do like the fact that they have a long think about this. Paul Atkinson says, you mean like getting caught on no man's land for the first one? Meslier, he's a liability. Agree with that one. Meslier threw it away, says Paul. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I would think Darlow starts the cup game, and then if he has a good game, he's our goalie. And I'm comfortable with that. I don't know what you do with Meslier. Do you keep him? Do you move him on? You probably keep him, but you have to have a strong back line and goalie. And today was, to me, the nail in the coffin that he's not strong. He doesn't. Somebody said, there was a comment on their channel, he commands his box like a child. All right. That's it for me. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for